however many part series it's going to take me. In this installment, we're going to get the head covers installed, put the injectors back in, do glow plugs, and put the high pressure fuel pump on. Things are moving along very rapidly right now. In the interest of full disclosure, the video I'm showing you was recorded a couple months ago, like back in March or something like that. I've got hours and hours and hours of GoPro footage that I'm trying to go through and trim down and edit, but I'm not going to let it hold up progress in the actual work. I'm also not going to give you any spoilers, so you gotta hang tight and see how we go. We're going to go ahead now and do the head covers, but before we do, something interesting to know about them, or it's interesting, but it's important. Unlike a traditional valve cover, the head covers on this engine actually serve as the top half of the bearing shell for the camshafts. This means that the head cover and the head are a matched pair. You can't separate the two. So if you were to, say for example, damage your valve cover, your head cover, you can't just go out and get a new head cover and put that on. You have to get a new match set head cover, obviously used, but you have to replace both of them because you won't necessarily have a round bearing for the camshaft if you mix and match. So when you take these off, when you're cleaning them, when you're handling them, when you're storing them, be very careful with those head covers, knowing that if you were to damage that, if you damage that bearing surface, it's garbage. You throw the head away, you throw the head cover away. If you were to kind of nick up the side, gouge a chunk of it out or something like that where it's going to seal to the engine, you have to be very careful about trying to repair that to get it back on. You can't just find a new valve cover and throw it on. That won't work. So be careful with them, and be careful to follow that pathway of the sealant when you put them on. And, we'll see that here in a little bit. But you got to be really careful about all those things so they don't leak and so that you don't get mismatched bearing shells. So without any more yakking from me, let's do the head covers.
Step one here is that it is absolutely critical that these surfaces be clean, and I mean very clean. I'm using a foaming gasket remover. This is the Permatex brand. There's several different out there that you can use, and we make sure that all the old sealant is off. It's already been done for the heads, but the heads need to make sure that they have all of their oil removed. So just going through and cleaning everything up really well, making sure there's no dirt in there and making sure that all the sealing surfaces have no oil, grease, dirt, anything that's going to impede our sealant. Also making sure all of those bearing journals are clean as well. Now, the sealant needs to go onto the valve cover, or the head cover, and you can see we've already started here, and we're just going to go along. This is a very long, slow process. Take your time, follow the path, use the right sealant. The paths are available in WIS. They'll show you exactly how to route the sealant, and you'll do that for both heads. When you're finished, it is going to look pretty much like this. Slightly different for the two different head covers, because of course the head covers are different from side to side, so just pay attention. And then you want to get it in place relatively quickly. You have a limited working time with that. So we'll make sure that we get plenty of assembly lube on our cam bearings, and make sure any assembly lube that spills or whatever is cleaned up. And then make sure that drops straight down onto the head, just like that. That way you're not messing up that sealant. You want to take that bead and compress it just one time. Once that's in place, we'll go ahead and put our bolts in. There's different sizes, so just kind of be aware of that as you go through this. Actually, as I did this, I found I had to go back and take some out and swap some sizes around. But it's there's a lot of bolts. Most of them will only go in, be sized to go in one spot. So we'll get all those bolts in, and then we need to follow the appropriate pattern that exists for tightening those and inking those to torque. One thing to notice, the torque values for these are very, very light. You know, we're dealing with a lot of aluminum, we're dealing with the sealant. That sealant is going to almost work as a glue to sort of hold everything together. So don't panic when we get to the point to install that and find that we do not have that much torque to apply. I'm using my T-handle here just to snug things down. We'll now go in two stages. The first is to go to 35 inch-pounds, and there's a pattern for this. It's in WIS, so be sure you follow. And it's a little different for each side, but basically the same. Because remember, not only are we tightening this down and we don't want any leaks, but we're also snugging the bearings, right? So that's part of the reason that you have that pattern. You can warp things if you don't follow it. So once we do the 35 inch-pounds, then we go back and we do that same pattern and take it to 75 inch-pounds. Again, that's not very much, but that's all it calls for. Once those are in, we're going to put the injectors in. A lot of new components go on here, so we're going to take the old return line O-rings off. So I'm just using a little pick just to pop the old O-ring off. I'll put a new one on, and that will make sure that seals up. You don't really have to replace those if you don't have the O-rings, but the kit I bought came with O-rings. Now we have the special ceramic grease that goes on there. This is a little pricey. I don't know that there's a acceptable alternative. I just go with the official Mercedes stuff and put a fairly thin coating on the body of the injector where it's going to go into the head itself. So just kind of slather that on. You know, we don't want to go too crazy. Make sure it's not on the tip of the injector either. We only want it on the body. You definitely want to use a brand new copper seal for that, copper O-ring. So that's going to go on, and then the injector just drops right on in. It is important to return the injectors to their original spot. Apparently the slight variation in the injector is recorded in the computer, and it needs to know that, otherwise things don't run right. Or at least they have to be relearned. That hold down tab goes in, and then we're going to use a brand new bolt. So we're using a new O-ring, a new copper seal, and a new hold down bolt to keep all those in. And then we go ahead and we torque those down, and once they're torqued down, they also get a 90-degree extra turn. So we'll go through that process here for all of those injectors. My assumption here is that the extra turn on this, the angle setting, is done primarily because it's a high pressure fuel system. So, yeah, that's right. We'll take it to 90 degrees and do that for all 6 injectors. That way we don't have to worry about anything backing out through the pressure of the injectors and the pressure of the combustion happening in the cylinder. To me, it's kind of wild that, you know, in like a fuel injected car, you got a couple little bolts that hold all the injectors in on a rail, and they're just sort of popped in place, maybe with little clips. But here, you know, because of all the extra pressure that's going on, we got to bolt these things down and use torque to yield bolts with them. So the glow plugs are up next. I want to go ahead and clean these off real well. So there's threads that need to be cleaned, and then we also have the electrical connection at the top, and then the actual glow plug body that goes the rest of the length. I'm just kind of hitting those with a brass brush, just cleaning them up, getting all the carbon off, cleaning out the threads, and making sure I get a good electrical connection, and then they just drop right back into place. And I believe it's an 8mm wrench that'll close those. I did not find that there was really room to get a socket around that, but maybe you've got a socket that's thin wall enough that'll work. So I just used a regular wrench just to pop those in. So we'll go ahead and clean the other 6 off, get them in there, and get them all installed. Goes pretty quick. I kept them, you know, separate as far as which one went to which cylinder. I don't know how important that is, though. So, you know, if you're anal-retentive like me, go for it. And now we get to the high pressure fuel pump. This is driven off of the timing cam, actually, or the timing sprocket on the intake cam, which is kind of cool. You go ahead and lube it up a little bit. Make sure you put it in the right way, like this doofus didn't do. New O-ring on there. Give it a little bit of engine oil to lube it so it goes on. And then you've got these handful of bolts that go in, right? So I think they're just the 3 bolts that go in. Hold that on. And we're going to tighten those to 15 Newton meters, which is 132 inch-pounds, if my math's correct. That's going to do it for this time. Next time around, we're going to go ahead and get the EGR cooler on, the EGR valve, the intake manifolds, the water pump, really just kind of putting this thing back together, and hopefully it'll be going back in there soon.